Hello and welcome. Let's get you set up on the Solana Toolchain natively on the M1, M1 Pro, and M1 Max. To start off, just ensure that you are running on an M1 machine. As you can see here, I have an M1 Max with 32 gigs of RAM. The other assumption I'll make is that when you type Solana in your command line, it says command not found. If you don't have Rust installed, let's head over to rustup.rs and copy and paste the text here into the terminal. Here, also ensure that it's installing the Apple Silicon version, and by default it installs the stable release. Choose one and let's go. Once the install is done, I'm just going to copy this line here so that this instance of the terminal has access to Rust. Alternatively, you can close this terminal and open another. Type rust up or rust up -- version and something should pop up like here. Next, we're going to run software update -- install Rosetta. We ultimately won't use Rosetta, but some of the packages of the toolchain seem to need it to install properly. Now let's head on over to docs.solana.com. Click on Develop, Command Line, Install the Solana Tool Suite. Normally, you just copy this command here, but we're going to choose some glass. So click on Build from Source, and then click on this GitHub link. Now, mainnet version is set to 1.8.5 at the time of this recording, and that'll be a little important later. You will see that everything is x86, but that's okay. Click on Code, and then Code again, and then let's copy this HTTP link here. Back at the terminal, we want to clone this repo, and since this is a new system, I normally create a development folder and clone it there, but you can clone it anywhere. Once that's done, cd into the Solana folder, and now we will then check out branch v1.8.5. If mainnet is different, then go with what you see there. Let's head back to the docs, and we're now going to copy this command to run. And once we do that, we'll hit our first issue. To get over this issue, we need Homebrew installed. If you're not sure, try brew, and if it says command not found, head over to brew.sh and install and come back. We're going to then install brew install core utils. If you don't see this and you only see the OpenSSL issue, then keep going. We'll work on that in a bit. So let's try this command again and see how far we get. And as we're going here, we'll come into our next issue, which is the OpenSSL issue. And to fix that, we're gonna brew install OpenSSL at 1.1. So let's try this command again. And once we do this, we should get there with the installation completing. Now copy and paste the last line here into the terminal and we're done. Well, sort of. If you type Solana now, you will notice that everything works. And if you type Solana test validator and you look at your activity monitor, you will see that it is running natively on the Apple Silicon. To improve our dev lives a little bit, here type Solana config get. This will create the .config folder with the YML file in it, but it will link us to mainnet. So let's change that. Okay, so we are now linked to localhost, and if we try to get a balance, we'll see that the default wallet address doesn't exist. And this is important if you're using Anchor as well. So let's copy the line that's suggested here and create this new wallet. Now, if we get the balance, you'll notice that the local validator isn't running. So let's get that up and running. And I'll open another tab, check out the balance again, and voila. If you wanted to airdrop yourself some more, you can. Now, the last thing I wanted to talk about was Anchor. So here I have boilerplate code that gets loaded when you run Anchor init in your terminal. Let's get our local validator running. Let's build our app, and then let's deploy it. This will look good, but you will notice that it is stuck at finalizing the transaction. This is because BPF JIT doesn't support ARM architecture, so let's change our validator command slightly here to bypass. And with that, we have set up our systems to develop Solana natively using the M1, M1 Pro, and M1 Max. I hope this helped, and if you have any questions, feel free to reach out on Twitter.